Washington Lee University in Virginia, correct?
Correct.
School of Law, you graduated in 1986. How did you choose that institution? Why out of state? Why that one?
Well, it was interesting. I went to Lafayette College undergrad, and I had actually thought I'd probably stay in Pennsylvania. A friend of mine, my roommate, was interested in going to law school as well, and maybe a little more organized in getting applications. And he decided not to go and offered me to go through all of his applications. I had had 2 cousins who went undergrad to Washington Lee, and my sister went to Sweetbriar College, which is right down the road from it. So I knew the school well, and I thought, well, this might be an opportunity to branch out to another state. So I sent in that application, was accepted, and all things worked out because I met my wife from Mississippi there. So.
You mentioned Lafayette. Your undergraduate degree in classics. We're talking languages there?
Latin and Greek.
Where were you headed at that particular point in life?
Probably law. I mean, I had had a lot of Latin. I had had no Greek, and when I got to Lafayette, I continued taking Latin, and I liked the head of that department so much that I thought I'd take a Greek course. I took a Greek course, and one thing led to another, and I thought that was probably as good a major as any, and it was great. I mean, it actually, I turned out to be the only one majoring that year in classics, but Lehigh had a little bigger department, our big rivals, but I ended up taking a lot of my Greek courses at Lehigh, and it was good. I think it prepared me as well as anything for law school.
So from the beginning, you thought perhaps law was...
I did. I was very close to my father, and as a matter of fact, he was best man at my wedding, which was, even though he was considerably older when I was born, he was 45. And I always had the idea that I would hopefully come back and practice him, which I did for 5 years, which was great.
Okay. I believe it was, well, I want to back up for a second, Legal Services Office. You worked for the Legal Services Office in Hazleton for a while.
Right.
That's working with the indigent. Was that a paid position or pro bono?
That was paid. For one summer during law school, I interned with Legal Services here on Public Square. Charlie Petrol was then head of Legal Services. He might still be head of it, although I think they've sort of merged with a bunch of them now. So it's a bigger organization with branches. And so when I came back and was practicing with my dad, Charlie asked me if I'd be interested in going down and running the Hazleton office, which they manned with a full-time paralegal and a secretary, but would send a lawyer down for 1 day a week. So I did that for a number of years, and that was a terrific experience.
Okay, so part-time paid position.
Mm-hmm.
What types of cases are we talking about? A lot of landlord-tenant dispute?
A lot of landlord-tenant. Back then we also did, and I'm not sure what they do today, because things change in the field of legal services to what they cover, but back then we also did bankruptcy, we did protection from abuse, and we did custody, but it was always on the defense side of those. So I mean, on the PFAs, we would bring the PFAs, but on the custody, we'd be defending on the custody usually. And I don't think I'm not sure if they do the PFAs. They might. I don't think they do custody anymore. But you're right. A lot of landlord-tenant, and that often came up in cold months and things like that when we really had to get involved quickly.